Hey folks, welcome to this office hours. I am Sarthak. I am a product manager here at Factors, and I'm really excited for this session today. I'm excited to show you what all we've been working on in the product, what all have we introduced recently, and what all do we plan to come up with in the coming weeks. Now, before we get into the actual product, here's a quick agenda of what we're going to do. I'll quickly give you a context about Factors. We help you identify accounts on your website, and we are an account intelligence and analytics tool. We help you identify accounts on your website, LinkedIn, G2, accounts that are part of your CRM that are showing intent, and we club all of that information into a single platform and then help you do analysis on top of it and set up automations so you can convert those accounts easier. So that's a little about us. And we have over 200 customers now. And these are some of the improvements that people have been able to achieve with Factors so far. And we are only growing. Here's a quick summary of what we do. So we help you identify the intent of all your accounts across your website, LinkedIn, G2, CRM, and give you that unified account timeline. Then you can set up custom scoring logics. So you can prioritize your accounts accordingly and score them so that your sales team goes after the right set of accounts. Then you can set up automations for those accounts so that those accounts get reached out to in real time and get converted into pipeline. And then on top of all of this, we help you do analytics. So you can actually analyze how much of your marketing and sales effort led to actual revenue and where were the gaps. Now, let's get into the product. This is the main hub of Factors, and this is the main screen you'll be spending most of your time on inside Factors. What you're seeing here is these are all the accounts that have been identified for our website and our LinkedIn, G2, and CRM. What that means, these are a list of all the accounts that have either come to our website, seen one of our LinkedIn ads, come to our G2 pages, or have some activity recorded in the CRM. For example, emails, meetings, campaign responses, and all of those. So this is like a master hub of all your accounts and their entire engagement. Now, looking at this view and looking at so many accounts is not really fruitful. Hence, we help you prioritize these and score them based on custom scoring logic, which is why you're seeing this engagement level marked as hot for some of them. And for some of them, it'll be warm, some of them, it'll be ice. So this is just a measure of how well and how highly a certain company has engaged with you. Now, this helps you prioritize and go after highly engaging accounts so that you don't waste your effort on low engaging accounts. You can also see what engagement signals or what exact activity have been performed by these accounts. So for example, it seems like Squadcast has filled out a form 7 times and they've come to our website 361 times. Again, they're actually a customer, so they might be coming into the product a lot more often, hence why that number is so big. But with this scoring, you can get how many times a specific high intent action was performed by each of your account so that you quickly get a glance of all your accounts and their activity. Based on this and the engagement signals that they have shown, we categorize them as hot, warm, cold, or ice. You can also see the exact score that they're on. And this is a custom scoring logic that you can set up. And this is something that I'm going to get into in a while. And you can set up these custom logic based on your own preferences and your own set of activity. You can also say that I want some of them to be scored higher if they perform action A versus if they perform action B. So you can actually set up the weights that should be given to each of these activities. And with this, you would ensure that you have the exact high intent activity configured for your target accounts. Now, once you see this view, you need to get to your own set of accounts quicker. As I said, these are accounts across your website, LinkedIn, G2, and accounts that have shown activity on your CRM. Now, you would ideally want to get to your target set of accounts or a certain segment of accounts that you want to go after. So that is where these filters come in. You can apply filters either on the basis of properties of those accounts. For example, I can look at all the accounts where the company lifecycle stage is already marked as an opportunity and belong to the software and technology industry. And let's add one more filter for revenue range. So I can get to the exact size of a companies that I go after. So this is just you setting up your own ICP criteria. So let's say in the 10 to 25 million range. So these are all filters that are applied based on the property of all these accounts. You can also apply filters based on whether they have performed certain activity on your website or LinkedIn or G2 or your CRM. For example, we can apply a filter here for only those accounts who have been to my pricing page. I can also apply another filter here for all the people who have seen my LinkedIn ad. Now, what this means is that you are creating a segment of accounts that have shown activity across different platforms. So they have come to your pricing page on your website and they've also seen your LinkedIn ad. Now, if I were to apply these changes, we'll see all the accounts that match this exact criteria. And for easy access, you can easily save them as a segment. So I'll just name them opportunities on pricing page and LinkedIn ad. With this, you can save it and you can easily find them here. So the next time you come into the product, you can just open this segment from the left-hand side of the page, search for it and get to that segment immediately. This ensures that you have the exact target account that you are going after ready and refreshed for your viewing. Now, let's actually get inside one of these accounts. So if I open squadcast.com, in this view, what I can get is their entire list of history and their entire activity, starting from the first ever time we recorded any activity from them, and then to this date across platforms. What that means, if they came on our pricing page in 2022, we'll have their entire history from that point till today, and whatever actions they have performed, either on the website, on LinkedIn, on G2, or any activity that has been recorded on CRM, would all be present in one single view. Now, if you see, we have a lot of activity across a bunch of users here. So we can see this across multiple users across a big time frame. So it seems like they were coming to our website starting from 28th of October 2021. This is where the first ever interaction got recorded. Then we have had a bunch of interactions with them. For example, a contact was created in our CRM for this user. Then we also see emails being sent. For example, I'll just quickly show you some of the interactions. For example, in this case, on 11th September, they came to our website. And this is a complete history of all the pages they visited. For example, they came to our website on 11th September and they came to our landing page, our Factors.ai homepage. And from there, they checked out a bunch of our pages, clicked a form, and then they logged off after this point. Again, you can also look at other interactions. For example, in this case, seems like they were added to a list inside our HubSpot. So this means that all your HubSpot activity also gets recorded here. And then you can also look at when they were shown any ads from your LinkedIn. That also comes in a single view. So with this, what you're able to get is entire history of an account across users, across time range. In this case, it seems like we have recorded a meeting that happened with them. That is also recorded here. So all of this history you're able to get in one single view. So you can actually understand what is the first interaction that brought them to the website and what is the most recent interaction that they have performed on your website or LinkedIn or G2. Now, to help you understand their engagement at a more aggregate level, you can look at the overview screen. Now, on this screen, what you get is their engagement level, which is the exact level that we were just looking at outside, their score, the total number of users that have come in from this particular company, and the total active time they have spent. You also get a view of how their engagement has moved over time. So you know when it takes a dip, when it increases, and you can attribute to certain activities making this engagement rise. So you know how your marketing efforts affected the engagement of a specific company. Now, you can also look at what are the top pages that this company has viewed. and what are the top most engaging users from this company. All of this you're able to get for all of the companies that are available either in your CRM or have been identified on your website or seen your LinkedIn ad or checked out your G2 page. So at this moment, I'll just take a pause. Let's check for any questions that there are in the chat. If you want, feel free to drop in any questions that you have. Okay. How to navigate through noise that might be coming in through existing customers and prospects already engaged with us? That's a good question. In segments, what you can also do is you can add a filter for not including certain accounts. What that means is if you want to add an exclusion filter, that's something that you can do as well. And the way that you do that is you can add a filter here under account properties for, for company domain. And you can say company domain is not in a list. So what this means is you are looking for all the companies except for this list. And you can actually upload a CSV list here. So you can exclude your customers and any other accounts that you don't want to see. So you can just upload a CSV here, apply the filter, and it'll actually exclude those accounts from being viewed. I hope that answers the question. Please feel free to chime in if you have any other questions on this. Okay, seems like no questions for now. Let's move on. So a minute earlier, I just showed you how you can actually see the engagement signals or the exact activity that each account has performed. So for example, Growth CX has had form fills, form submissions, website sessions, LinkedIn ad views, and visits to our pricing page. So this gives me a quick scan of the engagement of all of my accounts. As I said, you can actually set up some custom logic to score these. And the way you do that is by going into this icon, clicking on engagements. So this is the exact scoring that we have set up for us. So we are looking at these engagement signals. For example, a website session, a paid website session, which basically means a website session where the channel through which a person came in was paid search. Since we run Google Ads, we want to get to the accounts that are coming in from our paid search keywords. And this helps us highlight that pretty easily. We also look at LinkedIn ad views, LinkedIn ad clicks. Now, if you notice, we have a weight assigned to each of these interactions. We score certain interactions higher than the others. For example, if someone is coming to our pricing page, that's a very high intent action. And that likely means that this account is interested in our offering. Similarly, we have set up other interactions, for example, form submits. So if someone comes into the website, submits a form, that most likely means that he's interested in our offering. So you can go ahead and actually set up any particular signal and name it in a way that's easy for your team to understand. So for example, why don't we set up something like website session where the landing page. So the way you do that is you click on the event here, select website session, then click on this filter icon and select landing page URL contains, say, one of our blog pages. So what this means is that anytime someone lands on a page where the URL contains blog, give them a score of 20. So this means anytime someone is checking out our blog page, we'll give it a score of 20. So once they keep doing that, it'll keep getting added. So you can actually name this as blog page visit and save it. So this will be another event and another activity that we'll look out for and score your accounts based on that. So this is how you can set up your own custom logic. Lastly, what you can also do is select the criteria by which you want to score these. Now, the score of each account can vary by a lot based on what signals they have performed, which is why it makes sense to have a percentage tier where you want to assign hot, warm, cool, or ice. For example, for the accounts that are in the top 10% or in the top 10 most engaged accounts, you want to do hot. For the rest, warm, then cool, then ice. You can actually change this to say only accounts that are in the top 5% should be assigned the category of hot, And then likewise for warm, cool, and nice. You can set this to any value that you want so that you score your accounts appropriately. Now, going back to the account screen again, here you can also look at the fact that there are all these segments ready for you to view. For example, if you have a CS or a account executive who has his own set of accounts, you can actually come in, have a list ready for them inside Factors like so, which is HubSpot company owner is a specific person. So this basically means there is a list of accounts ready for either your customer success manager, your account executive, one of your SDRs, so that they come in and have a fresh list to look at and reach out to based on their activity on the website. Now, while this is available in the product, you might want to take action on them even outside the product. So if you have a bunch of team members or your sales team members who do not want to log in to the product, but still want access to this data, that's something we can set through automations. Now, you can set up some real-time alerts as one of the automations. One example of this is you can set up an alert every time someone comes to your website. So this is the part where we are defining the trigger or the action that should be looked at for notifying you. So essentially what you're doing is you want to get notified every time someone comes to your website. Now there might be a lot of accounts visiting your website, which is why you want to set up some filters and only get notified for the exact activity that you care about. In this case, let's actually ensure that we only get an alert if the industry of the company that's visiting us is software. If I only want to look at my ICP accounts and only get notified if someone from my ICP segment visits, that's something I can set up here. Another one I can add is based on employee range. So this will serve as a way for me to measure how big is a certain account or a certain company. So I can say if they are in the 100 to 249 and the 250 to 499 buckets, only then send me an alert. And you can also include other filters. For example, filters from your HubSpot, something like life cycle stage, account owner, and a lot more. So you can filter them based on any and all properties that are available in your CRM as well. Now, this means you can look at the exact account that you care about. Next, you just add some information for your team to see this inside the platform of your choosing. For example, this is how the alert will look in Slack. If I add a visit happened from a target account, this is how it's going to look inside Slack. You can also add a message saying, check out this account that visited our website. So every time an account visits and it matches this criteria, we'll send an alert over to your Slack. Now you can choose the channel you want to receive this alert in. You can also add certain properties that you want to see in every alert. In this case, we can add what is the landing page? So what is the page that they exactly landed on? How much time did they spend? What is the domain of the company who actually visited the website? And you can see a preview of all the properties that you add here. So you have an idea of what exactly does this property mean. You can also add their country. So which country did this company come in from, and a lot more. Now, as an example, this is how the alert will look like inside your Slack. This is one Slack alert that we have set up for ourselves, which is anytime a non-customer company, which is any company where the life cycle stage is not customer and are from US or Canada, send us an alert. So if you see, we are getting their landing page, their domain, industry, city, their HQ city, how many pages did they visit, and what was the last page of their visit. Now we have a handy link here, which is this see activity in Factors app. So if someone from your team sees the Slack alert and feels like this is an account that I want to reach out to, they can easily click this link and it'll open the exact activity of that account inside Factors. So if they see an account of interest in all of these alerts, they can just pick one that they want to look at in greater detail, and they'll be taken to the exact journey of that account. So they know exactly what actions were performed by that account. Now, this is a quick summary of what all you can do on the Slack alerts, real-time Slack alerts. You can also send this data to other platforms like your CRM, a Google Sheet, or you can enroll specific accounts into a sequence in Outreach, Salesloft. All of that you can do via webhook, wherein you use any automation platform like a Make, a Zapier, and a bunch of other automation tools to send this data to any platform out there, whichever your team resides in. And this is how the webhook will send this data. So you can actually consume this data in other platforms as well, other than Slack and Teams. You can also send the activity URL, just like the one we saw in Slack. You can also send this with every single webhook. So this link is handy to you. What this means is you can send this exact alert into your CRM. And every time there is activity, we'll also append this URL, the URL to the activity for that account inside Factors. So you can easily click that and get back into Factors for each of your companies. So you have a quick link to the detailed activity of every single company in your HubSpot or your Salesforce. So yeah, that's a quick summary of what all you can do with these real-time alert automations. Now I'll take a pause here. Happy to take any questions that there are. Okay. Can you please deep dive into data enrichment? Say we want to find CEOs of this company. How do you do that? Okay, that's a good question. So what we do right now for our customers and our current set of prospects is that we use a platform like a Make or a Zapier to basically take this data from Factors, hit one of the data providers like Apollo, ZoomInfo, Slintel, or any other that you use. We take that, we hit their database, we get the contact information of CEOs from the companies that are identified here. So for example, if acme.com visits your website, we're going to take this alert, hit Apollo, get the emails of CEOs for acme.com, one CEO of acme.com, put that email into your HubSpot or your Salesforce, or directly enroll them into a sequence inside Outreach, Salesloft, or any other sales enablement tool that you use. So we take care of all that manual effort for you. So you don't need to do any of it. You can just let us know that this is the exact workflow or this is the exact data provider that I want to use, and we'll set it up for you. I hope that answers the question. If not, please feel free to drop in another message. I'll look through other questions in the meantime. Thanks for answering. A follow-up to that. In case of enterprise accounts, I might not want to block out entire domain. I just want to avoid engagement shown by my existing users, them visiting different pages on my website. Like, for example, tofu content. There might still be new teams in the account where I have scope of expansion. I would be interested in any engagement showed by these new teams. Okay, great question. That's a very, very specific use case. So what you can also do in these filters is add a filter at a person level or at a user level. So just how you can add a filter based on properties of an account, you can also add a filter based on the property of a user. So what you can do is user email ID is not in a list. So again, this would block out specific list of users basis their email. And you can again upload a list here so that you don't get a list of those accounts here. I hope that that answers the question. Please feel free to ask any other follow-ups. Happy to answer. Awesome. So we have confirmation there. Nice. So now, folks, this is a quick look into the product right now. What we're going to do next is look at what all is brewing and what all are we going to release next. This is a sneak peek into new features that are going to come up in the coming weeks. And I'm happy to show you guys a quick look at the preview of them. And I'm very excited to get your feedback and exactly what you think about them. It'll be great if you can drop in your thoughts in chat, or if you want, we can actually have a one-on-one chat. Please raise your hand and we can just discuss them on the session. Now, to get into the first thing, we are adding insights for individual segments. Say, for example, you have actually created a segment, just as I showed earlier, which is all companies that are coming in from a specific search keyword. And you have that segment ready-made. What we want to add there is, or what we are adding actually, is insights for all the accounts that are part of that segment. So you know which segment is performing well and which segment isn't performing well. So in this case, what you can see is data like what are the number of website sessions that are happening by accounts in this segment, or what are the total number of visitors that are coming in from this segment, which is paid search visitors, or what are the total number of page views? How has that changed over time? And how does that compare to another segment? For example, in this case, we are comparing the website sessions that are happening from a paid search visitor segment versus another segment, which is US companies. So we see that actually we get 10% more visitors, or 10% more website sessions from paid search visitors as a whole than just US companies. You can also look at other metrics like top pages, which are the top pages that are being viewed the most by accounts that are part of this particular segment, and how has that changed over time. You can also look at how much pipeline and revenue you have actually generated from accounts in this segment. What is the percentage close rate? What's the average sales cycle look like? So you know exactly which segment of accounts convert better, convert quicker, and where are the exact gaps. So we are very excited to release this. It's in the works, and we should we should be able to give you this for each of your segment. So you are ready to look at the exact metrics for your custom segments. So this is one of the pieces that we're really excited about releasing. And if you see there, there's another tab, two other tabs there for LinkedIn and G2. We also plan to introduce specific metrics for your LinkedIn performance and your G2 intent performance. So you know how many accounts from this segment are seeing your LinkedIn ads, what are the common campaigns that they're engaging with, and a bunch more. So that's something that's again in the works. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll get into the next one. In the meantime, please drop in your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about this? Would this be useful? What else would you want to see here? See here? It's all very useful to me. Coming into the next part, just how you saw we can create a segment based on account properties, or on the basis of certain actions being performed, or on the basis of user level filtering. Those are the three sections we just saw. What we also want to do is check for certain actions not being performed within a given time period. For example, what you see right here is we are trying to look at all the companies where the life cycle stage is an opportunity, where the deal amount is more than 20,000, and the account has actually come into the pricing page more than 4 times in the last 7 days, but has not booked a meeting in the last 7 days. So this means someone who's actually engaging with your website quite a lot, but still hasn't booked a meeting yet. Maybe your sales team should reach out to them and actually proactively ask for a meeting. So with this did not do filtering, you can also look at accounts that have not performed an action of interest. This is something that we plan to release, and you'll be able to build much more nuanced segments than you can right now. So this would essentially mean that you can look at any given time period, apply these changes, and you have a list of all the accounts that meet those criteria. Again, very excited to be releasing this soon. Would love to hear what you guys think. The last thing that I wanted to show is alerts based on segment membership. Now, just how we saw, you can create these custom segments, and you can create a lot of them inside the product. Your sales team or your revenue team might not want to log into the product again and again and check for these accounts. They would want to be alerted about it either in their Slack or in CRM or some other platform that they use, so that they can take action on it much sooner, which is why we are releasing segment-based alerts. What this means is that you can get alerted, or we can send you information about the account as soon as it enters a segment. What do I mean by enters a segment? It basically means anytime an account qualifies for your segment conditions, that will be considered as a trigger. So for example, in this case, for a segment like leads MQLs, anytime a company becomes a lead MQL or other, we want to be alerted. Or another case could be anytime someone comes to the pricing page and they are from India, is the segment definition here. Anytime an account qualifies for this segment definition, we want to get alerted about it inside Slack or via webhook, send it to the other platforms that we use. So you can actually choose which segment do you want to set this on. You can also set up a similar alert, which is to say, send me an alert every time an account exits a segment, which means anytime an account no longer qualifies a segment criteria, you want to be alerted about it. One example is that if you have a filter on engagement criteria, like so, if you set an engagement criteria like all accounts where the engagement level is hot is the segment classification or the segment definition. Anytime an account no longer qualifies this criteria, you want to get alerted about it. So you can say when an account exits the segment and which segment do you want to get alerted about? You can select that, and then you can get an alert similar to what we saw earlier. So this ensures that you stay on top of these cohort of accounts, and anytime an account becomes becomes a part of the cohort or moves out of the cohort, you get instant alerts, or you can send that data via webhook to any of the other platforms. So again, very excited to be releasing this. Would love to know what you guys think. And these are all the items that are in plan and we plan to release soon. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any thoughts, feel free to drop them in the chat. We're always available via our email, help@factors.app. So please feel free to drop us email, any feedback, anything that you want to see in these features. We'd be happy to talk to you and get them in the product. So with this, we come to the end of the session. Thanks everyone for joining in. I'm really glad you all made it, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.